What an intro. Hello, everybody, and welcome into this wonderful Sunday morning. I'm ACRacebest. Do you like that?
Yeah. Sunday.
Oh, man. So, yeah, come on in. I just realized, by the way, I had that pause because I had this, like, slick intro planned out. And then I had the tab open with this, and my voice just started coming back through. So in other words, this is how it's going to go today, everyone. Sunday morning, I am here surrounded by some magnificent people. I want to thank everybody for joining us here live, and a reminder to check out the links to get your autographs and whatnot. But this is a Q&A session. We're going to be asking questions to our special guests here today. And let's go through a little bit of an intro with everybody that we have here joining us. So why don't we start off with good morning, Nicole Oliver. How are you today?
I'm awesome. How are you? Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
I'm good. Ooh. I knew I forgot something. I just have the clear stuff, and I promise that there's nothing but water in it. So
I have that too. There you go.
Ooh, very nice. We also have Jenna Warren. Good morning, Jenna.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be here.
And then we got Claire Margaret Corlett. How are you?
I'm great.
Yeah. Did you like how I threw kind of the old school spin on your last name there? Not Corlett, Corlett.
Yeah, that is old
Still
school.
say Corlett. I refuse to change my way.
It's okay. There's a handful of people who just, they don't really get a lot of things right. And Michelle's one of those people. And
Always.
That's fine. I'll give you a pass.
There you go. There you go.
Route, via. I just like to be a
route.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Michelle Creber joining us here.
Hi, guys. Nice to be here.
And then we also have Cathy Weseluck. Good morning, Cathy.
Good morning. Hey, everybody. Great to see y'all. Great to be here.
Yeah. So the way this is all going to work, folks can submit their questions, and we have Andrew helping us out here today. So thank you, Andrew, for everything. He's going to be kind of filtering through questions and helping select questions from the chat. We're going to get kind of going here on some starter questions and getting to know our guests, and maybe some different questions, maybe ones that you guys haven't been asked before. Hopefully, I tried to kind of mix things up for you guys. So to start off, I love food. Okay, so I'm all about learning about what other people love about food. I know that this is kind of a weird question to start off with, but I want to know: do any of you have a favorite food or meal that is like, oh, that is like chef's kiss, the one?
Chef's kiss,
Oh,
the
man.
one.
Yeah.
Well, I love to cook. What I did last night, I made dynamite shrimp tacos with avocado and cabbage. That was pretty good.
Ooh.
The spicy sriracha mayo. Yeah.
Mm.
So you're a mean one in the kitchen then, huh?
So, yeah, I like it. I've been growing a lot of my own food this year, so it's been kind of exciting to
Nice.
go in the garden and get my herbs and my stuff and then cook with it.
Nice. Very cool.
Awesome.
What about Jenna? Do you have a favorite?
I'm a basic pasta girl. Throw out any plate of pasta in front of me. Oh, you won me over. Yeah, that's a really intense question, though. Food is
I know.
my life.
I don't mess around.
It's so good. But yeah, can't go wrong with pasta. So there you go.
Very cool. Very cool. Claire, favorite food?
I want to say caprese because no matter how it's done, I always like it. But
Okay.
I will tie that answer with what Jenna said because any kind of pasta is good. You can't go wrong.
Caprese.
Salmon. Oof.
Yeah.
Caprese.
No.
What?
See? Another thing
This is
that
just
you're
a thing today.
that's
All right.
incorrect.
Okay, well, I my favorite food is probably pad thai. There's a restaurant called Salatai in the center of downtown Vancouver.
Yeah.
It is phenomenal. So if you ever come to Vancouver, go to Salatai. It's on Burrard Street.
I'm
All
with you.
right. You got the same one, Cathy? Same answer?
I love pad thai, and I love it from the exact same restaurant, Michelle.
Oh,
Awesome.
yes, Cathy.
that restaurant used to be on Canby Street, and it was a little hole in the wall nook. And we used to go there constantly. And a long time ago, it was my introduction to Thai food, long time ago. I came and I worked at the CBC, and that team took me to this restaurant, and I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be spicy," because I love flavor. I mean, I can't do hot. If I have something that's hot, I will start to choke in front of you in the restaurant. So tastes great, but yeah, so I have to tone it down. But salad Thai, great. Everybody go there. I love.
I like Bob likes Thai food.
Sable fish, garlic, maple syrup, a little olive oil, $3.50. It's like dessert, and lots of coffee.
Nice.
Sensible guys.
Yeah.
Well, now you've all made me hungry, so thank you. We have officially begun this Q&A. And just a reminder for people, we're going to be going for about an hour here today. So again, thank you all for joining us here. So I got a couple questions as people are submitting questions through the chat. And I'm going to start with Nicole. So Nicole, we've been to a couple conventions together, and one thing, especially when we're doing like script readings or whatnot, is that not only, of course, you're all incredible voice actors, but it seems like improv's a big part of it as well.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, for you, do you have, or where have you maybe gotten your improv experience? Is it just something that came naturally, or did you do any classes for that kind of thing? Because you are on it just every minute of the day, it seems.
No, only when I'm getting paid.
See?
See, but bump. Yeah, well, I trained. I love improv. I actually got to do some improv for the Firecracker series down at the Improv down on Granville Island in Vancouver a couple of years ago. That was so much fun. Training, yeah, I went to theater school, so improv is kind of the backbone of the beginning of any kind of training, because you have to say yes with improv. You can't say no because it stops. And so to be able to keep things going forward, I don't know. I personally like making you do things like run around and be crazy. I was afraid you were going to get payback today, so I'm grateful that you haven't. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, improv has always been a big part from when I went back in theater school 30 some odd years ago, so yeah.
Very cool. And again, it's always a pleasure seeing what you do on stage and of course behind the screen. So it's good stuff. Talking about conventions, Jenna, as far as My Little Pony conventions go, this is a new scene for you. And I was kind of curious with your kind of early experiences with it. What have you thought so far with going to a Brony convention? And was there anything that surprised you?
I feel like everything surprised me. It was unlike anything I've ever experienced before, and it was really cool to be recognized in a room full of people for my work. So it's never really happened before. It was just such a cool atmosphere, cool vibe. Everyone there is like so passionate about the show, and it really opened my eyes just how impactful the show is. And I'm so grateful that I'm now a part of it, and I still can't believe that I'm a part of it. And yeah, my first convention was Winnie City, and then I'm going to Everfree in like 2 weeks. So yeah. I'm excited for that. But yeah, I don't think you can explain just what a convention is like with like a couple words.
Fair enough. Absolutely. Yeah, we've some of us have been doing these for quite a few years, but it's always fun to see new faces, new talent coming in, and yeah, hopefully you continue to have fun with all those. Now, Cathy,
yes, sir.
It's been fun because we've seen a lot of of course, like the main six, if it were, but Spike's always been a large part of their growth, their story throughout the years, and I feel like Spike is one of those characters that you could say maybe grew with you throughout those 9 seasons. How did you feel like Spike evolved over all those seasons, and we could also extend this to maybe some of the other characters that were voiced, because a lot of you doing these for 9 seasons. But I was curious your take on Spike from the start of, way back season 1 to where he ended up. Obviously, he got a bit swole by the end of it things, but what was your take?
I wouldn't want to mess with him now. But anyway, yeah, it was funny because when we all auditioned back in the day, I was told that he was a baby dragon. So I went really, really, really young. Spike's right here, and so that's where he was, right? But he was back like that, and he's so much. He just started to sound like that. And they're like, okay, that's too much of a baby dragon. And I'm like, that's what I thought you wanted, baby dragon. So he was way older than I thought. And so I had to find a placement for him. But as far as him evolving, I mean, he was kind of the little kind of sidekick and the helper. And he was kind of the little guy, the little baby. And then as he grew, he seemed to have the answers when the ponies didn't sometime. And of course, is the brave and glorious. So he saved the day with a question a number of times. So the writing got far more intricate with him, and he found himself in more situations. Like even Gauntlet of Fire was quite involved, And then he was able to do some of the songs, etc. So I think he really evolved, and when we were able to do a lot with him. So I think he came quite far and turned out to be kind of an advisor in some ways to some of the ponies. But I've always said I would really wanted to see a little episode with him and Fluttershy, because I think that's a ship.
Oh, okay, all right. See, we're getting into the stuff that everyone's like, well, there goes my question. Your ultimate ship. Thank you.
Little brother and sister, but there's a similarity to them. But anyway, yeah, it was a great evolution, and as Nicole knows, and every actor knows, that when you get when you're in a series, then every script, the character's more and more developed, and we get surprised as to what's happening with the characters. So I was happy to see that as he went along.
And it was very kind of fun to see that progression.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah. Now this question is going to be for Claire and Michelle, and we can maybe start with Michelle here. You both had a more unique experience with, literally growing up, going through this show. Looking back at Everfruit Northwest 2012, and you see you both on stage, and you're like, and now look at you both. What has that experience been like, Michelle? Kind of growing up with all of this surrounding you, going to conventions and being involved and kind of just seeing these crowds and performing, doing your music as you've gone with all that. But really, what has this experience been like, not only just on the convention side, but also getting to work on a show that lasted 9 seasons?
Yeah. I mean, Claire and I, when the show started, I think we were about 9 or 10 years old. And you're right. Like, we did grow up with the show. And when Cathy was talking about like her character progression with Spike, ours was so interesting because like our characters grew up as we grew up. So it was like always kind of symbiotic in that sense. And then obviously the conventions and the traveling, it was so special because in voice acting, we get to do episodes together. We get to see each other kind of only once a week, but we got to travel the world together over the course of the last decade. And that was so special. And just meeting a massive variety of wonderful people. And I do remember that 2012 Everfree very, very clearly, because that was our first experience, just being able to meet these people in person and put a face to these names. And it was wonderful. It is such a big part of my entire childhood. And Claire and I are in our early 20s now. But those were all very like formative years. So yeah. Good
Yeah.
I could not agree more. I like how Jenna's just like popping off the face of the earth here and come back every like 6 seconds. Poor girl.
Just checking in.
She's like, when she comes back the next time, we should all be like, Jenna, what do you think? And then just see what but yeah, I mean, this whole experience has been insane. I mean, I look at kind of like the MLP. What do you think, Jenna?
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm just
kidding. I'm just kidding.
You.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry.
My
I'm
laptop
sorry.
crashed, so I'm on the iPad.
Oh, Claire.
Continue, Claire.
So mean.
Welcome to the club. Okay. Sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me. Okay.
So many
what was
things.
Oh yeah, do a lot of things.
I can make a scroll.
Let's pull out the list. Yeah, I've been, I don't know, I've just kind of looked at the MLP era, if you will, because I will, in like a period of time, basically, where it's like this age, like this age from like 10 years old, 9-10 years old, to like 20 or like 18-ish is kind of when we stopped like recording. But that period of time is such an interesting period of time to look back on your life. I think most people look back during that time and, you know, they think of high school and like, you know, going from middle school to high school, whatever, like going through all that process. But really it has been unique to look back and be like, I have changed so much as a person, and I'm glad that it was this level with the people that I changed with and grew with, like having all the Vancouver voice acting community, like they're like a little part of my family almost. And like it's really cool to kind of like, you know, move somewhere else, like Arizona, move to the States and like go through this whole process of kind of becoming your own person and seeing where you came from, because you can see that process through YouTube videos, through like little interviews here and there where you just look back and you're like, why did you say that? That was so annoying. And like you can, it's just enough that you can see that process visually, and that it's not too much that it's like the paparazzi are like on your street and they're like knocking on your door. You know what I mean? Like I think that having that amount of visual aid to look back at, if I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but like that's just really cool. And I like knowing that, you know, anybody can see that even if they didn't grow up in that time, I guess is what I'm saying. It was a cool experience. Summary, Bo.
Perfect. Well, let's see if Andrew has some questions coming in from the chat at this point. Andrew, let's see what. There you go. Scope has the ultimate question. I don't know if anyone's got anything to say really for that, but
what about
it was just an angry face.
Okay.
I liked Paleo's question.
Let's see here. Question: what life would you give your characters?
Rainbow Dash. I love that.
Eat all the bread.
Eat all the bread.
Carbs are your friend. Yeah.
Yes.
This is for Princess Celestia or the teacher or.
Oh, well, I don't know. I just, in general, I would say.
Okay.
Just in general.
Everybody.
That's important. I'm writing these down.
Do not limit yourself because it's based on what other people say you have to be. Eat the bread.
Eat the bread.
Eat the bread.
Eat the bread.
I would say, I mean, we're still learning about Sunny, right? But I would say trust your intuition and believe in yourself, because, you know, who you are is so important. So don't let go of that, despite what, you know, other people might think about you. Trust yourself. Your people or your ponies will find you at the end of the day. So
I like that.
Nice.
Yeah, you're not new. You suck. Come on.
Come on, Jenna. I mean, I would say something similar to what Nicole said, which is that, like, there's so much time. And I feel like everyone in this younger generation, there's a couple of younger generations now. I'm not exactly sure what I'm even a part of. I'm right in the middle of a couple, it seems. But there's just so much time. And everyone is always kind of in a rush, and that's what the Cutie Mark Crusaders always kind of resembled, was this need to figure out what to do, what to be, and like to limit yourself to that one thing. And so I would have just told them, you know, there's so much time to figure it out, and it doesn't have to just be one thing. And that's why I love that our Cutie Marks ended up being a combination of things, because it kind of resembled an umbrella of what we were supposed to do in our life. It wasn't just one one thing. So yeah, don't limit yourself. And there's time. There's time.
You say that because you're not as old as I am. The time in the world, dear.
Yes, fair.
For Spike, I would say to him, Spike, have no expectations in love, please. Let it go. Let it go. And hey, why not open up your own cleaning service? Yeah, early. That's what I'd say.
Nice.
For hire.
He's going
I
around.
don't know.
Time, so.
I don't know, like, what am I telling this person as like a trusted friend? Like, I kind of want to know why. Like, am I doing it as me? Because if I'm doing it as me, I'd be like, hey, Sweetie Belle, sit down for a moment, chill out, stop being so loud and annoying. You have plenty of people paying attention to you without raising your voice. And then this other part of that would probably be what Jenna said, which is just trust yourself, you know, just relax just a little bit if you can. Try and get about 8 hours of sleep. And just, you know, I don't know, live life. Live life to the fullest. You're only this young for so long, so enjoy it while you can. Hang out with your two friends who you love, and don't argue with them that much because they love you.
So in depth, Claire. I love it. It's really, really well thought out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, am I the only one who questions sometimes when people say, "Oh yeah, you should get 8 hours of sleep"? I'm like, are there actually 8 hours even in the day? Like,
No.
I think one of the
Also,
great
yeah.
is going to bed early. I mean, honest to God, for me, when I'm like really, really busy and I'm tired or whatever, going through one of those, you know, those things, then I think to myself, one of the easiest things that we can do is to just go to bed early. It's decadent. And you feel great. Not that you do it all the time, but if you need it, do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Big nap girl over here.
you know, and like, you know, I'm a big nature lover. Everybody knows that. I love being out in nature, and that just grounds you. So that's my
That's
tidbit.
true. That is true.
Nature.
very cool. Andrew, we got another question. Here we go. Favorite outdoor activities? We can start with Nicole on this one.
Well, I'm a huge gardener. I love being out in my garden. That's great. And I love snowshoeing. And I like sitting in my hot tub. That's an outdoor experience.
That
Nice.
is an outdoor
activity.
Thank you.
It is.
Yeah.
What about Jenna? You got any favorite outdoor activities?
Yeah, I grew up playing a lot of sports. I grew up playing soccer and basketball. So anything, you know, athletic outside, love doing. I love going on walks. Big hot girl walks is, you know, trending. So that's my jam. Love hikes, love being on the water. My dad loves being outside, and I definitely got like a green thumb for him. Nature also definitely calms you down, like Cathy said. So if I could be outside all the time, I would. I love napping outside too. Like big nap girl again. So yeah.
Nice. Michelle?
Sometimes I do it outdoors, but I'm big on bouldering, which is like rock climbing but without ropes. So it's just like short climbs. And so I do that as much as possible. It's like the only thing I do where my brain just completely shuts off, because if you fall, you fall. So you have to just really focus on the wall. It's a really great like activity to just kind of take your brain off anything else. And then otherwise I do a lot of biking. I live downtown Vancouver, pretty central, so I just like to bike everywhere as much as I can. So transportation, but also fun. I just love biking, and also spikeball. Very big on spikeball.
Spikeball's fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Wait, how have we never played spikeball before? I didn't know this.
Because you move to a different country.
So far away.
I don't know what to tell you.
So Claire, what about you besides spikeball?
Well, I also grew up playing every sport ever, even though I was probably too short to really play them well. But I did really love soccer. Soccer was the one that stuck with me the most. And I also really liked ultimate frisbee. I think there's something really special about just having a disc, and you can take it wherever. You can play it on the beach. You can play it. You can do that. What's that game that someone
Disc
like
golf.
throws it? Yeah, disc golf, but the one where you shout alive or dead in the air, and it's like if someone's throwing it to like a crowd of like 6 people, you basically can like jockey with each other, and then it's a good beach activity.
Yeah.
You grab the disc when they say alive or dead. If it falls on the ground and you miss it, you can still get the points. And if it's just alive, then you have to catch it in the air. And it's kind of like, well, I don't know. I don't know what it's like. It's like that, like how I explained. That's the game. I don't know what it's called though, but it's very fun. And I also really I'm on a softball team right now. And I didn't think I would love softball as much just because of my weakling chicken arms, but it's actually really fun. So I would have to put that up on the list. I think I'm gonna be one of those people who's like, I'm gonna be like 80 on like a community sport team, just because I love to,
What position do you play,
new people. I play outfield.
Your chicken
I laugh.
probably catch a lot.
I mean, so far the ball has come to me twice, and I haven't been able to catch it. And I would love to blame that on anything else other than my skill, but it has to do with my eyeballs. Because we're playing it like just when it becomes dark. And so you can't really see it go up, and then suddenly it's right in front of you, and then you miss it. And so, but I'm good at batting and running, so that's kind of why I like to play softball the most. But yeah.
Nice. And obviously, Cathy, you already mentioned that you're one with nature, so I imagine you have quite the list for this.
Oh, I love everything outside. But I also did play a lot of softball back in the day, too. That's what I was wondering. And we used to have a talent agency softball tournaments way back. Do you remember that, Nicole? I don't know if you ever played on them, but it was a blast. I was a pitcher. And somehow I actually knew how to do things that they would come out. They're like, oh, great. Have you been working on that? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, I would do good things and then we would do well. Anyway, so softball was a thing I loved. And I just wanted to say to Michelle, too, if you like rock climbing or anybody loves rock climbing, you guys have to check out on Instagram a guy named Alex Honnold. I think it's Honno.
Yes.
He's got that, what's his film?
There's so many rock climbing films, I always mix them up. Which one?
Alex
Free
Honnold.
Solo?
What's it called?
Free Solo.
Free Solo with Alex. Because then there's also like there's a bunch of
Scariest
that was great.
thing
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Wow, that guy's
Above any horror movie, watch that, and it's like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yes,
just you know that it's real.
And that guy, he rock climbs with his hands. And he achieved, I can't remember what it was, but that's the movie. So go see it if you haven't.
El Capitan is what he climbed.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah. El Capitan?
El Capitan, yeah.
What was that? What
It
was
was
the boulder problem? Or what
Yeah,
it was called?
he used his hands, and he had to start really early at night to be able to make it. Anyway, this is great to see it. I love golfing. I haven't done much of it lately, but I do want to get out. I love being outside, like hiking and cycling. I used to play a lot of tennis back in the day, but those things are where I'm at right now. So, yeah, and I love to swim in the ocean. I live close to it, so I just love it when it's hot out. I just swim in the day. Been doing a lot of that this year. It's been great.
Excellent. Some cool answers there. Andrew sends us our next one from Aiden. This one's for Jenna, asking, how does it feel to voice Sunny in Generation 5?
Oh my goodness. It's amazing. When I first got the part, I thought my agent was joking with me. Me, Jenna, sure, okay, yeah, let's go with it. I hope they didn't make a mistake. Like, yeah, good prank, guys. So it's really cool because bringing her, to life is just, it's been amazing. She is a lot like me in a lot of ways, but I'm also learning a lot from her as well. And I didn't realize the magnitude of the show at first when I first started it. And so as I learn more about the community and more about the show and even more about Sunny, it's so exciting, man. It's really cool. And it's cool because, this is a whole new world for My Little Pony. Every new little place that they have now, like Maritime Bays, Upper Heights, it's all new. So everyone's exploring it together. And I think it's cool because we kind of get to explore alongside the fans as well. But yeah, it's been awesome. Definitely the most fun I've ever had on a project, voiceover or not. So yeah, I just don't want it to end. It's been amazing.
And I think it's also an interesting scenario for you. And I don't know if in your career you've kind of been in the spot before where really you're taking a character that's been pre-established for the movie, and then now it's your time to kind of make Sunny your own. And so I don't know if you've been kind of in a spot like that before, but what has that process been like?
Yeah, so I was actually one of the last to be cast on the series, and when the series started, the series started before the movie was released. So everyone kind of established their characters, you know, in their own way in the series, and then the movie came out, and just so happened that lots of the voices, you know, aligned. But with me, I auditioned for it after the movie came out, so I was trying to emulate, you know, how Vanessa Hudgens did Sunny, and so when I got the audition, I was trying to, you know, mimic her voice, and that's sort of the route I took it. But then when I was doing the audition process, it sort of turned into a thing where they wanted my own voice, kind of with like a little bit of, you know, cleanliness, like cleaning up my words here and there. So that alone gave me so much freedom to really make Sunny my own. I didn't have to, you know, like follow what someone else did. I definitely took inspiration from Vanessa, and that's so cool. Like inspiration from Vanessa Hudgens. Like what? Anyway, but yeah, just there's so much freedom in the show to let Sunny be herself, if that makes sense. Like I never felt like I was stuck in anything, and she's still so young, still such a young character, so there's lots of room to grow. But at first I was like, okay, I gotta copy everything because that's what they want. And it turns out, you know, they wanted, like, you know, they wanted me. So
Cool. Well, very nice, very nice. And Andrew sends in our next question from Pepsi Addict. This one's for Nicole Oliver. What was it like recording Celestia's ballad? Is the question.
Well, I've actually answered this quite a bit at conventions. The day I recorded that ballad, my father-in-law was dying in the hospital. So I was at Vancouver General Hospital with my little boys, and they were washing Papa's feet. And they were slowly turning up the morphine drip, and I had to go sing the song because the industry doesn't stop for anything or anybody. So I went, and it was really difficult. I got through it. Yeah, I broke down in tears actually in the middle of recording. It's just really hard. I mean, the industry is hard and life is important. And when the two things clash, it really makes you know what's your priority. So, yeah, recording that ballad was really a tough emotional thing. I was proud of myself that I got through it. And I really am proud of how it turned out and how it's resonated with everyone. But yeah, you never know what people are going through. So
No.
keep talking kindness all the time. That's what I say.
So true. So true.
Yeah, that's what it was like recording that ballad. Honestly, it was hard.
Well, I mean, and you know, just kind of talking about I guess the difficulties, just like you said, around this industry. From the outside, it just looks like, oh, that's so fun. You guys go in, you get to talk and make funny noises and stuff, and then you're done for the day. And it's like there's so much involved with, you know, outside of just getting to the studio, getting past the audition process for you guys. And I know that's something, because a lot of people I do think see this as more of a, oh, this is fun. And while I'm sure it has its great moments and it can be very fun, there's a lot that goes into the voice acting roles. And like you said, it doesn't stop for anybody. So
yeah, like when I was singing the lyrics, you think about it, right? It was just me singing to Twilight, but I just had the vision of my father-in-law and my kids at the time. You know, the generational thing is when they're saying goodbye, literally, and that's kind of what the song was about, right? Passing the torch, and so it was just a really kind of weird convergence day of so many things.
wow.
And so yeah, it's. As actors, you're supposed to play what you know and dive into your past, you know, depending on how methody you are. Or as the Brits say, darling, just stop to breathe like you're crying and eventually you'll cry. Whereas the American actors are like, I had to think about all this trauma so I could get there. Yeah, so it was one of the hardest probably bits of my career, I think. I'm also proud of it.
Wow, certainly adds a new element to that song that I'm sure a lot of people are learning about here. I saw Andrew had another question that he popped up earlier. I'm loving these names. We had Pepsi Addict, now we have Caloric Leader. And this is for this is for Claire and Michelle. What is your favorite episode of My Little Pony and why?
Claire, what do you think?
I never remember what it's called. Everyone always yells at me. The one with all the songs when we get our cutie marks.
I would. Oh, that one, like the big one. Yeah,
it's like the musical episode.
Yes, and it's like a whole experience. That's great. And the other one I thought you were about to say was one of like the old ones, the Cutie Mark Crusaders, like a musical, and we're all doing the wrong thing. Like Apple Bloom singing and Sweetie Belle's doing the crafts, and then you know what I mean?
I'll tell you why that's not my favorite episode, because I don't remember any of it because I didn't do it. I didn't do the song for that. So I didn't even know, like I skipped that whole part when we recorded because I was like, half the time I didn't freaking know what I was doing. I didn't even read the script until I got there. I literally thought
no.
Where's the bad actor?
Just me who does that.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
I started young in that regard. Like I started not.
You guys were so cute though when you walked in there. And Nicole, didn't you want to?
Were we though?
Were we? You were so sweet.
Or were we annoying?
We were cute for like 5 minutes. It was cute.
Yeah, Cathy.
You guys start screaming, and then it's like, well.
Then all hell breaks loose, and you're like, get these kids out of here.
We were pretty quiet, though, Claire, back in the day.
Now, I don't believe that at all.
I don't remember that, but I believe you, Cathy.
What day?
We were together. When you all first started, when you very, very first started.
Oh.
Yeah. Your talent was awesome and energetic and whatever, but...
Both of Michelle and I were little professional tiny children, and then once we got to know each other, that's when I think everything went downhill because we were like, oh, we can be friends and talk to each other, so we would just crack each other up.
And then the ships just started to sink. Exactly.
Yeah. But I like the musical. Is it We'll Make Our Mark? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah.
I will agree with you there. We'll say the same thing.
Nice, nice.
Different, Michelle. You'll be wrong, but you can be different.
I know. I will conform to you.
Thanks, Dusty.
Oh, we got Dusty in here saying a penny more than Scope. It's all about beating Scope, isn't it? It says, love you all. Keep being amazing peeps. Looking forward to many more years of fun.
Ditto.
He said 4
back at you. I gotta grab some more coffee. I'll be right back. Keep talking.
You go get your coffee. Yeah. Shout out to Dusty. Actually, before we do get to the next question, I want to hit upon the singing aspect, Claire, that you were talking about, because at some point, right? Like, was it early on you did not sing for Sweetie Belle, but then at some point you started singing?
Yeah. I started singing in season 4 for my own character, so that was Hearts as Strong as Horses was the first song that I sang, and then everything past that was me, and everything before that was our dear Michelle, who sounds exactly like me. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, we can sound very, very. We trick my mom. We tried
like, Frank. Yeah.
That could come in handy.
It was great.
Yell and see if people can recognize which one it is of us.
We were cracking ourselves up one time because we were yelling, and Monique was like, I think she was having a heart attack. She was like, why are there two of my daughter yelling at me?
Yeah.
What time is dinner? It's like, wait, I thought you were downstairs.
And so with that, since you weren't doing, your own singing, was there something that you did to kind of progress your singing skills or take training or what was it, just singing into the shower?
No, I literally, they asked me what I honestly still to this day, I I can assume that in the initial audition process, they had really wanted like this strong, belty, you know, theater Broadway type performer, like in vocally. And obviously, I just didn't have that. I was, you know, I could sing okay, but they wanted Sweetie Belle to have that contrast of like being really sweet and kind of shy, and which is not what her character turned into at all. That, and then the reverse of that, like when she sang, she was like this different person. That's kind of like what they were going for. So it makes sense because poor little me was like 9 years old and barely sang anything, just kind of sang little, you know, I don't know, cute songs. Like Dinosaur Train was happening at the time. They've got like really cute, you know, sing-along kind of songs. And then this show was like kind of an elevated version of that. And so the audition song for Sweetie Belle was Respect. And I was like, by Aretha Franklin. And I was like, what the heck? So I tried to practice that as much as possible. And I don't know if someone has that audio somewhere. I would love to hear it one day. But like, I just don't think it went well for me. I think they were like, well, we love her take on the character, but we're gonna go next door, and we're already hiring this other girl, which I can imagine what happened. We're already hiring this other girl, Michelle, to do this other voice. So why don't we just get her to sing normally for Sweetie Belle's and then keep the accent for her own?
See,
right? Don't you think something like that happened? Or no?
Yes, but see, as self-deprecating as Claire is sometimes, Claire's a fantastic singer. So I was really happy when she you know, they did throw a lot of hard songs at us and we were really young, but I was really thrilled when Claire got to start singing for her own character. And Cathy, do you remember, and Claire too, that the other song they wanted us all to sing was California Girls by Katy Perry?
Yes.
Do you remember that? And we were like 9, and some of the
lyrics
make
it like, that round of audition.
We got all the guys to sing it too. I will never forget that.
What? That didn't happen.
Yes. Yeah.
That did not happen.
Happy said it happened. So
Was that the one where they changed the lyrics to, instead of California Girls, it was like Equestria Girls? It wasn't that one? Because like they used it for like a promo, I think.
They might have. I don't know if it was at the time, but they made everyone, including the kids and the guys, sing California Girls by Katy Perry.
That's like a nightmare.
Yeah,
you're gonna need more coffee, Nicole.
I don't know, but Michelle, did they use it though? Because I remember prepping it, and I can't remember what happened with it though. Did it? Because we did sing it. We did. I know I did that, but what happened? Did it make it in there? I don't know.
No, I don't know. Ray says there might be some other version. I just remember doing that for the audition, but
I do think that it was promo material. It wasn't in the show, but it was something they used for promos. Yeah.
I swear I wasn't involved in that.
So we went through the whole doing that.
I didn't make it. I didn't make it that round.
One of the things I loved was the Equestria Girls. Oh gosh, I don't remember the title, if there was one for the song, but they're all on a cruise. They're all on a boat, and Spike was real swaggy. What was that called? You know what I mean, Claire? Do you know what I mean? It was like it was like a ship. It was a cruise, and you know everybody Spike was swagging.
Wait, is this for another promo thing?
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean, Race?
I remember the Full House one, but I don't remember. I thought that one was.
I remember that one.
Oh, yeah, and we sang this song. And it was like Spike. I'm not even going to say what he looked like, but it was a drug dealer. Like he had like the hat thing and the glasses, and the girls on his arm in the boat. You know what I'm saying? Come on, no. It was an Equestria Girls thing. I don't know. Anyway, it'll come to me after this is over. So. What's it called? It's about
Someone will find it. Type it in the comments, guys.
There you go.
Come on, Andrew, you would know. Dusty, you still there? Come on, what's it called? Anyway,
come on, guys.
So we do have a question here for Jenna, asking, how was the recording session for Make Your Mark or the Tell Your Tale shorts? Did you all record together?
I'm on a yacht. Sorry.
There it is.
A yacht. That's right. It's about a yacht. Thank you,
Dusty.
Thank you. I'm sorry. And Dusty, yeah, I'm on a yacht. Sorry.
It's been really cool. We're still recording some stuff. but no, we didn't get to do Ensemble, which is my favorite part about voice acting because of the pandemic, obviously. Like, you know, there was a really long time where we were all recording from home, and some of us still are sometimes, but it's pretty much been, you know, everyone goes in the booth alone, and sometimes we have sessions where, like, I'll be in the booth, and then Anna, who plays Izzy, and JJ, who plays Hitch, they'll like join in from like wherever they are, because JJ's big in theater, so he was in Calgary for a bit. And then sometimes AJ, who plays Pip, will come in, and like we'll be in separate booths at the studio that we're at, so we're not actually in the same room. Which, you know, I mean, I think it elevates the whole process when everyone's together. You bounce off of each other, and there's like a magic in that you know has been missing since, you know, the pandemic started. But there's been a couple times where Matrai, when she's not in LA, she's been here, and I've got to record with her a couple times. But yes, separate booths. Sometimes we're in each other's ears, but I would say for like 80% of the episodes, we all record separately.
Now, you mentioned that you have your preference doing Ensemble. Is that kind of like a general like overall? Do you most of you prefer doing it all together, or okay? So, because I, in my experience as a voice actor, which is that much, I've also noticed, like, if I don't have someone reading with me, I'm like, oh man, the delivery is so different. So I would figure the same for you guys, probably preferring such.
So I've been directing a lot the last few years, and the real challenge is, and Claire, you have to read your script now, folks. Actors can't come in and just hope to find it in the room, and they can't hope to just, I'm just teasing Claire, and they can't.
No, I know.
You you actually have to read the whole script, and you have to come in thinking about what the other performance is going to be like, because, you know, when I'm directing, if I can read with the other actor, I will, because maybe I've just worked with another actor. Or what I like to do is, if we're working with a really great engineer, is I'll play the actors in with the other lines that I've already recorded, so at least they can have that feeling of bouncing off. But not all directors do that. Not all projects allow for it. Not all sound engineers are equal, and they can do that quickly. So, and I honestly don't think we're going back to Ensemble recording anytime soon, unfortunately. So it's really incumbent on all of us to be way more prepared, and almost, it's kind of weird, way more in your head, which hurts me being, you know, an quote unquote actor. But you, and also when you're in there working, you are working. You can't hide anymore. You can't like do your line, sit down, and go on Instagram. You know, you actually, when you're in there, you're in there working hard from beginning to end, sometimes 2 hours. So vocal strain is a much more real deal, I think, over the pandemic than before as well.
Right. Good point. Well, I mean, you're doing all the directing, Nicole, but I mean, I wondered that too, whether the Ensemble thing will be a thing. I mean, in Canada, it's pretty unique that we had the Ensemble thing, because in LA and the States, it's oftentimes separate anyway. So we kind of had something pretty unique for a long time. It's too bad, though.
And there's a lot of times where sometimes you don't even know who the other actors are at the start, like, or what their voice sounds like, or how they deliver lines.
Effing crazy. It's so rude. It takes 2 seconds to let everybody know who you're acting with. Hey, this is what they sound like. Like, you know, we're all amazing, but give us some help.
That's how I feel. It's sometimes when they don't give that instruction, you go and listen to the final product, and you're like, why would they keep that in? Like, why did they keep that take in? It made no sense. Yeah. But it's kind of a challenge, because you do have to be more prepared. I would like to state for the record that I am much more prepared now. You have to be almost over prepared and read. Like, now I'm reading, you know, other people's lines. I'm reading the descriptions. That never happened when I was a child. Like, all of that stuff helps you create the world in your head. And even on top of that, it's still difficult because the director will have a different in-head picture than you have. And so when you come with something, then they're like, oh yeah, that's not at all right. And then you're like, all right, that's chill. And then, you know, you do it again. But
or else you're like, I've already recorded the other half of this conversation. It reminds me of actually acting on camera with a star who, if you're doing a two-hander, you're working with someone quite famous, sometimes they'll work with you. Other times when it's your coverage, they give you nothing. You'd rather,
Hi.
The script supervisor read it. And then when you turn around for their coverage, you're like, what the fuck didn't you, pardon me, I swore, there we go. Didn't you do that when it was my turn? And then your scene gets dumped
And then you look like trash.
because all people are going to remember is your last gig and they're not going to know the circumstances.
That's
But,
right.
Yeah. So you don't get a lot of support. So you got to support yourself.
And you know, we're lucky to have you, Nicole, because you've been there, done that. And I mean, even with little things where, I mean, those descriptions that you get, like, okay, so this character is really outgoing, but she's quite internal, and it's a cross between, you know, like Katy Perry and Judi Dench. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's really
She's aggressive, but
really,
she's shy.
You know, and so like it's a joy to have someone like Nicole and our generation, maybe, who's had that past experience, because we know what even more the new actors have to go through now. And I mean, we need that input. I mean, and again, and Nicole can attest, and others can attest who do teaching or have taught, is that anybody new that's coming in doesn't have anything to go on. It's like hitting and missing in the dark. So if there weren't workshops or there weren't coachings or direction, I mean, I just don't, I can't even imagine. Like, I don't know what
And time is money, so they don't even allow you to make mistakes anymore. If you don't come in and you can't, like, you've got to be able to do about a line a minute, because it's taking 3 times longer than it used to get it, and so it's way more expensive. And so if you're going to come in and not be prepared and not be able to flip on a dime and not be able to do a good, fast, cheap, you're done. Like, and nobody's going to take into account, oh, hey, this is actually your first job. Do you even know how to put your script on the stand? Do you know how to move pages without it affecting? Has anyone ever shown you how to get close to the mic and to not pop your peas? Like, you know, things that's just, if you were in the room with other actors, you go, oh, that's how I'm supposed to do it. And you kind of pick it up, and you don't have that anymore. Yeah. So I really feel for the new performers coming in, or even performers who are transitioning from film and television that are adding animation into their roster. It's tough. It's tough.
We had it really good back in the day. Yeah. I mean, there was budget, and I remember here in Vancouver, like, you would get anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes of time. If you had more than 1 or 2, like 2 characters, you would have the time to do it. And then the casting director, and I had a short stint in casting and directing too, would give you the time to show you your own wares within the milieu of what had to happen. But we just don't have that. And so that's why I'm saying, like, Nicole knows how to get that out of you, and a good casting person and director would know in a short period of time how to do that. Right. So it's wow, it's more for the new actor. I don't know.
Glad to hear that you're directing, Nicole, because that just suits you.
Oh,
as soon as you said that, I'm like, oh, good.
Thank you. I think. Thanks.
So I do believe we have. I just know Andrew said we got one big question here. This might be the one to finish things up. Oh yeah, and it's big. Fritz Rolle asking, along with the G5 VAs, you also have this community of VAs and other creators within the Brony fandom. Do you guys feel that this show has become a turning point for the voice acting industry as well as animation in general?
I say here, yes. Because My Little Pony, in my opinion, opened up so much. I mean, with the LGBTQ community, transgender people, people that were coming to that convention. I've never seen so many walks of life, so many ages, grandparents, brothers and sisters, production people, all coming to these conventions together, and it being heartwarming and very real and like a huge family. It changed so much, and the support is incredible with the show, within our cast, within the community as well, and at all the conventions. I don't have words for it, but it's a legendary show, and it's really changed things in the world. I think it's amazing, and I'm not saying that the show alone did that, but in a way it did. Do you remember the first time hearing about it, Nicole? Like, I heard that it was. We didn't know who the Brony community was. We didn't know what was going on. And I remember walking into the lounge, and I think it was Tabitha or Andrea had heard that something was written up in our Canadian magazine, Maclean's, about this Brony community, and how people were healing by watching this show. People were making friends who never had wanted to, were able to, felt isolated. Like this, yes, this show, I don't even have words for it. It's changed many things, people's lives, healed people, and our community too. It's given so many opportunities that we couldn't have imagined on many, many levels.
We'll say from a business perspective, it lasted a hot minute, and I'd like to see it get back there. But the show actually enabled performers to ask to be paid what we thought we were worth, as opposed to what, there was an opportunity for you to actually negotiate for a very short period of time.
That's right.
But that's really important because there's a real backwards twist on this industry that the people who are in charge and have the power they need you as performers, but don't get too famous, don't get too good. Because then what's going to happen is then we're going to have to pay you more. And so, and then who's really driving the bus? It's all about control and power at the end of the day. So it was interesting from a business perspective, and as a woman in this business, to have a hot minute where the power shoe was on the other foot. And I enjoyed that, and I look forward to that coming back again.
I think with what both of you said, there's a reason why this show's been around, coming up on 40 years. Like that's incredible. Like, I think that speaks for itself, and I'm just in awe of how impactful the show is. I don't think it's hard to think of another show, especially, a cartoon series that has such a meaningful impact on people from all walks of life and can bring so many people together. And I think that message is so important.
I want to just add, sorry, Jen, it's just something, the fan base is freaking amazing. The talent blows my mind on all levels. The art, the production, acting, the creativity.
Yeah.
So many handlers are like, one was a biochemist, and like the group of people and the talent put together, we could start a community.
The diversity of it all is stunning. And the artistry is great. In my office, I have someone gave me the plaque from the very first episode, Celestia, and then I also have a drawing from, it was the very first BronyCon, a gentleman who did a couple of tours in Iraq and was suffering from PTSD, was watching the show with his niece, and he used to be a graphic artist, I think, and he got inspired to draw again, and he drew me this gorgeous pencil drawing of my character. It's actually in one of the documentaries that are out there, and it's in my office. That's my favorite thing when I go to a convention, is to go into the vendor alley and just to see everything that everyone has made and how they've been inspired by the show, and how, so many other people who have gone on to be animators, not just on this show, but in other shows, in Los Angeles and Vancouver and Toronto, and people who are voice actors who used to be fans who are doing their own stuff, and how so many people have become entrepreneurs and developed their own kind of economic stream from a passion, I think is amazing.
Yeah, it blows me. It's amazing.
Yeah,
so and all of you. Shout out to all of you out there.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm gonna boomerang that shout out, because, like you all are talking about, this show has not only inspired people to maybe take a chance and try something that they hadn't already done, people in the community, in the fandom, but so many times now we've seen it over these 10 plus years, just of Generation 4, now going into Generation 5, seeing people be able to, like you said, take their crafts as artists or as musicians, as entertainers, and be able to create these, not just as, oh, this is a fun hobby, but actually as a line of work, a form of income. These have become people's careers. And I feel like a large part of that inspiration from the very, beginnings of when things were getting started with Generation 4 and all of you were getting together for this, was the accessibility. I think that was such a massive part, and you all being available to the fandom, whether it was at conventions or stuff like this, doing Q&As. The social media aspect I think was massive too, and really exploding things. And so for that, speaking for the community, I say thank you, not just to everybody in Gen 4, but Jenna, you're kind of jumping on this train as well with Generation 5. And I think it's done so much for countless amounts of people out there. And I don't know if you guys, you may be able to see it, but really just want to emphasize that you have touched so many lives throughout these years. And as one of those individuals in the community, I cannot say thank you enough for everything you've done over these years and everything you continue to do.
Wow. Thanks, Grace.
Thanks, Race.
Absolutely.
If it wasn't for your NASCAR videos, Race, I would not be here today.
You're welcome, Claire. That's
But I
that's
have
all I
liked
need.
NASCAR more.
I was hanging out at the track last night with some guy you may know.
Oh, my fiance, yeah.
Yeah, your fiance. That's who it was. Yeah.
I know him.
Yeah, you know him. But yeah, again, thank you. And as we start to wrap this up, I know that there are multiple signings and times that you guys want to talk about and some appearances. So we'll kind of go down the line. Cathy, do you know your times and what you're doing? What are you up to, or maybe projects you're working on?
So many we can't speak about, but some we can. I mean,
That's
I've
true.
got some that have come back, that some anime ones as well. So people who are into that anime stuff, there's some really great shows. I wanted to sort of just mention the show that I'd done called Cyber 6 a long time ago. It has that heartfelt kind of multi-factored thing about it. It was set in Europe, and it was very well written. But there's some great shows out there too. Anyway, that have come back in some ways. But I've been guesting on some shows, some brand new shows lately, which has been fun. Doing a lot of commercials as well, and a few have come back. So, and back in some of those anime ones, there's World Trigger. I think Inuyasha, what is it, Half Princess Demon or something? I never get that right. Anyway, stuff like that. So I'm doing a lot of those things. Still voice acting up the storm, which is great, and it's been in flux too, I have to say, because good old COVID kind of came rushing through the world, and all of us, it affected businesses, and it affected so many people on so many levels. So thank God we all survived that whole scenario. So far, so good. Still doing what I'm doing and happy to do it. And yep, I have a live stream tomorrow, also on Monday. Mine's at 4 p.m. to 5 on Instagram. So I'll see all you guys there. And yeah, thank you, Race, and everybody that's on the screen now, and Andrew and the fans. I see Charlie saying, we love you guys. We love you too, and KG Grove. So thank you, everybody, for popping in. I hope to see you tomorrow.
Absolutely.
/Cathy, Weseluck, Streamily.com.
What time are you tomorrow, Cathy? What time are you tomorrow, Cathy?
I'm 4 to 5. What time?
Okay, 5.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So Nicole, yeah, you have your.
Because if we were going to be the same time, I was going to change it. But I'm at 5 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time tomorrow, August the 15th, and I'll sign as many as I can live. And if there's lots of extra, I'll probably put another Insta signing on. Just keep track of my socials, as the kids say, for updates. But tomorrow at 5. And in terms of work, I've been really blessed. I'm on Nancy Drew on the CW. I play one of the kids' moms, so we're back for season 4.
Cool.
And I've got looks like I think it's a 2-episode guarantee, so that's cool. That's lovely. Keep the old face on the camera. I also have Dragon Prince. I can talk about that. I can't tell you how much of that I have, but I play Zubea, the mother of dragons, so I feel like there's a theme there. And another show I can't talk about. And I'm directing in about 4 shows right now. So it's busy times. It's really awesome, and I'm really grateful. Yeah.
Very cool. Looking forward to all that.
And I'm sorry if we didn't get to your questions, but I'm a pretty good multitasker, so you can ask me questions and I'll sign and I'll talk tomorrow, and it's usually funny to watch, but I'll do my darndest to get everyone's questions tomorrow.
Great.
And
Great.
have all these people here. Jenna, it was so much fun meeting you. You're just phenomenal. Claire and Michelle, it's a privilege to watch you guys grow up. I feel like your auntie or something. And Cathy, you know, I adore you. So
I adore you too. Let's go have another. What was it? Grapefruit basil martini.
yeah,
We had that. When did they show that? Where do we have that, Nicole? That was at a convention.
a drink. Well, usually at any
A
convention.
drink.
BabsCon. That's where I was introduced. I'm not a huge drinker, by the way, but that was awesome.
That martini. Yeah.
Sounds like an experience, a flavor experience.
So Jenna, speaking of you, do you have some signing and times coming up?
Yes, I believe this Saturday. We're still working out the time, but hopefully someone will be joining me for that. And I might do one next week as well. And then in terms of stuff that I've been working on, I have a movie premiering at TIFF in the fall, which I'm really, really excited about. It's called The Young Arsonists. And I just got back from LA because I was attending a Netflix premiere, which was amazing. And then just, working on Thomas the Tank Engine, as well as My Little Pony, Tell Your Tale and Make Your Mark. And there's some really exciting other stuff coming that I can't talk about yet. But I just want to thank everybody for, giving G5 a chance. And I'm really excited to be a part of it. And I also just want you to know that, it's a different world. It's a different story. G4 isn't done. It's not anything to do with G5. It's its own journey, and I think that that's important, and I want you to know that we all acknowledge that, and we're really, really thankful to be a part of the family now, and get to do things, collaborate with G4 as well, like on these awesome live streams and at conventions, and I'll be at Everfree. And I'm also going to a convention in Holland. I believe it's called Pony Holland. I'm not sure the name right now off the tip of my tongue, but I'll be there in October. And yeah, thanks.
Yeah, welcome to the family for sure.
Thank you.
Michelle, signing times.
Hey, well, you know what? Look at this. I pulled out my unicorn shirt. Okay, I got some of my albums out. I'm just gonna keep it simple. I'm just gonna sign on my YouTube at 12:30 because I'm already here and I'm already ready to go. So yeah, just in 22 minutes. So yep, YouTube. And then in terms of things, definitely I feel like that's always the case. Like shows, can't talk about them yet. That's always the deal. And but also just a lot of music. I've mostly been writing this year, and I usually am writing about 4 to 5 songs a week. So I have this ridiculous archive of songs that are going to be like releasing back to back shortly. Now that I'm kind of like I'm a little bit tuckered out. I've been writing like a fiend this year. So lots of new music, and it's just always so lovely to talk about the show. It's such a nice thing to reminisce about. And Cathy and Nicole, like we grew up as these tiny little things, and you would have seen us go like this, but we were always looking up at you like this in awe. So a little bit taller now, but we still look up to you like that. And Jenna, so lovely to meet you. You seem wonderful, and if you come to Vancouver, we'd love to hang out with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'll take you up on that.
Of course, yeah.
And then we have Claire.
We do. Okay, so
We do.
I'm going to be in Disneyland in September. That's going to be pretty fun. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. I think my signing time, I will, if you will. You want to?
Well, I was the one that invited you, so yeah, I would hope so.
Okay, well, let's just hold on. Let's talk about me first. So my signing time is going to be, my Streamily shop is now open, so you can submit all the things you want to submit. There's more than just poster things on there. There's like a little audio recording if you want any of that jam. There's I think it's going to be up for about a week from today, but if you want to be able to get your questions answered or whatever, then you want to tune into my live stream, which I will do on my Instagram account. So my Instagram is @ClaireMargaretCorlett. and I will be doing it on Friday at, what time did I say? 12 p.m. 12
What
p.m.
time zone?
So-
What time zone?
At LA Pacific, same time zone.
LA time.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't really have any personal projects of note currently, but that's okay because, you know, I'm just going through a nice personal growth time. I am getting married in November, so that's its own thing. Thank you. You can.
Congrats.
Congrats.
And yeah, thank you. I'm very excited about that, so I'm just kind of spending my time trying to, you know, plan all that crap. Let's see. Oh, I am going, hopefully, and the reason why I say hopefully is technically I have been announced to go to the convention San Japan, which is in September. Wait. Yes, September. Wait. I don't know when it is. Search it up. San Japan, the convention. The only reason I wouldn't be going to it is if Gabriel, my fiance, also known as Black Griffin, if he moves past this current live round on America's Got Talent, then we probably won't be going because they'll have to be stuck in LA for that period of time instead of going to Texas. So obviously I want to watch that. I will be watching his live show semifinals this Tuesday. So if you guys want to tune into that, there's just a nice little plug there. Maybe you'll see me on camera again. Maybe you won't. I don't know. I'll be screaming my heart out. So that's going to be Tuesday, August 16th. If you guys want to vote for him, please do. I have all the links and stuff on my Instagram. That's the best social media for me because I actually use it. So yeah, signing 12 p.m. on my Instagram on Friday. You can ask all your questions on the live stream and we'll have a good time. So yeah, and all my other social medias are on there. So
Cool. All right, Claire, we'll see you Tuesday. Yeah, again, thank you all so much for joining us here for this Q&A. Have fun with your signings and your other live streams and whatnot that you're going to be doing. And we can't wait to see each and every one of you at some convention coming up. I myself will be at Everfree Northwest, so and I'll be seeing some of you there. And with that, I think that's going to be a wrap here. So again, thank you for all the questions that got submitted throughout this. Sorry if we didn't get to your question, but we appreciate everybody for watching here today. And once again, thank you all for everything that you've done, everything that you will do regarding My Little Pony and the fandom. That's a wrap, guys. Thank you for watching.
Bye. Bye.